Megalobox Season 1 was a fun and epic boxing anime, but Season 2 not only surpasses Season 1, but also transcends the sports genre. In the first season, the themes mostly revolve around self-improvement and an underdog rising to the top. Sadly, the 13-episode count restrained the impact of that rise. The second season doesn't have this problem, because it uses boxing as a medium to tell a story with more universal and deeper themes. In the first half, the themes of the story are about overcoming trauma and discrimination. Joe is dealing with the trauma of Nambu dying and blaming himself for it, while Chief is dealing with the discrimination of being a Hispanophone immigrant in Japan. Joe keeps seeing a ghost of Nambu who says cruel things to him, like how he should have died instead. This Nambu doesn't have the personality of the real one. The ghost's personality is distorted and purely negative. To combat this, he takes painkillers which negatively affect his body and give him panic attacks. After orders from Chief, Joe throws the drugs away, but Nambu still haunts him and even offers him the drugs again. It is only after hearing Chief's past about losing his son and confronting his pain is he able to do the same. Just like in the flashback with the real Nambu, Joe asks his coach to fight with him again. The real Nambu took his hand, but this fake Nambu doesn't. Now Joe has moved past his trauma and he cuts his hair to symbolize this. Chief and his family of immigrants are dealing with discrimination primarily in the form of their land being sold. The amusement park they built their community on was never paid for, so it's technically not theirs. But the person selling the land intentionally did it out of ill will. Additionally, Chief says that the locals believe that the immigrants stole their jobs when they worked hard for next to nothing. Chief decides to confront the land issues by signing up for a Megalobox tournament and buying the land when he wins. In the finals, his opponent, Mamiya, taunts him with foul words towards his people, which effectively angers Chief, making him slip up. With advice from Joe, he's able to calm down and eventually achieve victory. Both of these characters are dealing with real problems that are outside the sport itself and thus have more weight. Additionally, when the two come together, they both level up. Joe goes from a boxer in the ring to a boxing coach, becoming the Nambu for Chief. Chief goes from a boxer who fights in fixed matches to a real boxer who takes his wins by force. But this victory comes with a price. Chief dies in his sleep due to the injuries. This outcome was foreshadowed when he was losing consciousness before the final round. This death is amazing in multiple ways. The first is that it, once again, transcends the sports genre. Death is not something you see a lot in sports stories because it is usually unrelated. But boxing is a dangerous sport that can result in critical damage, and the story takes advantage of that. This consequence brings us into the real world, like the themes. The second reason it is great is because it is a reference to the ending of Ashita no Joe, which the whole anime is heavily inspired by, where Joe dies sitting down after his final match. The third reason is because there is a price paid for victory. This shows that Chief was willing to sacrifice his life in the ring for his family and their land, which is powerful. This is all just the first half. In the second half, the story has three narrative focuses. There's Joe, Edison Liu, and Mac Rosario. Joe's story is about him rebuilding his family. The kids from Season 1 have beef with Joe because they feel like he betrayed them and Nambu. Whether what he did is deserving of the treatment he receives is debatable, but Joe feels like he's betrayed them and he does what he can to make up for his actions. Boxing is mostly a medium to express the human condition in a dramatic way. When the kids lose the deed in their shop because of their antics, Joe steps into the ring in place of Sachio and wins it back for them. He rebuilds the Team Nowhere gym, mostly on his own, and even has a boxing match with Sachio to stop him from doing fixed fights in the underground ring, which is a reflection of where Joe started in Season 1. He makes this bet because he wants Sachio to be his partner when he fights with Mac, like in the old days. After he wins, Team Nowhere is fully rebuilt. Joe has been accepted back into the family, and Sachio agrees to be Joe's second. Liu is Yuri's student who beat Joe in the past, but he wants a rematch against Joe because although he defeated him in the past, Joe was in terrible condition, and Liu believes that Joe underestimated the match because it was an exhibition match. In the present, he was putting more focus on Joe rather than his upcoming opponent, Mac. When Mac enters his signature mindset, Liu is completely defeated. He suffers terrible injuries from his loss against Mac and might never recover from his paralysis, but he still aspires to fight Joe and carry on Yuri's dream of defeating Joe. Mac's story is about him and the antagonist, Ryugo Sakuma. Mac was a megaloboxer turned policeman. As a boxer, he was a mediocre and forgettable hothead. As an officer, he saved many people from a dangerous fire and took a shot to the back that would paralyze them. This made him a local hero. Then Sakuma, the CEO of a tech company named Roscoe, came in to offer Mac BESS, a piece of technology that would allow Mac to not only walk again, but also box. Because of this, Mac became a top-tier boxer who could now control his emotions. He can also use Mac Time, which is a mode that he enters when he's under pressure, and it makes him perform better. Now he feels indebted to Sakuma. Sakuma wants to use Best on injured veterans so that they can fight again, and uses Mac as a mascot for advertisement. It is later revealed that Best has negative side effects on Mac, especially when he uses Mac time, which Sakuma has intentionally been hiding. It makes him go out of control, which can be seen when he gravely injured Lou and when he lost control with his family outside of the ring. Mac decides to carry on his fight against Joe, but he won't use Mac time and ensures that his second will forfeit the match if he enters the mode. In the second half, Joe's story is about rebuilding a family, Lou's is about carrying on a dream and taking on problems one at a time, and Mac's story is about what someone is willing to sacrifice. In conclusion, all of these themes tackle topics that are more universal and impactful compared to the themes like becoming the best athlete in your sport. The way this season is able to weave these stories into a boxing anime is phenomenal, and why I say that it transcends the sports genre. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and help me revolutionize the manga industry by buying my manga and spreading the word. All important links will be in the description.